Hey guys, welcome to my bar. I'm Jamison and this is how I drink. I'm gonna give you guys a quick informative video on the different types of spirits that are derived from agave, aka mezcal, aka tequila. So the first thing you need to know is that mezcal, which this is an example of, this is mezcal, this is sacrificio mezcal. This mezcal is made from agave just like tequila is. And technically speaking, all tequila is mezcal, but hear me well, not all mezcal is tequila. Mezcal is very similar to tequila except for one major distinction. It has a very smoky flavor. It's such a smoky note in the spirit that sometimes it's not palatable to people who aren't familiar with mezcal. But if you are familiar with mezcal, or you're looking to experiment with something that's kind of like tequila, but very different in some noticeable ways, mezcal smokiness is a perfect addition to your margarita. Next, I'm gonna show you tequilas and give you the breakdown on tequila. So if you ever go out to a restaurant or you're going to the liquor store and they're saying, hey, well, what kind of tequila are you looking for? They may say something like, hey, are you looking for a Blanco tequila or a silver tequila? Blanco/silver tequila hasn't been aged. That's why it doesn't have any type of color to it. That's why it's clear. It looks almost like vodka, but it hasn't been aged the way that other types of tequila has been aged. And so here's an example of what they call Reposado. Reposado is an older aged tequila, but it's not the oldest age of tequila. Reposado is usually aged about 1 to 3 months. And in this case, this is one of my favorite tequilas. This is Mastro Dobel Diamante. They actually filter out the color that comes from the aging process that happens when you age Reposado tequila, and they make it clear. But when you go to your store, you may see it with a slightly amber color at the liquor store or at the restaurant. Also, it adds a lot of flavor when you age it, but it's not necessarily different. It's just a preference in terms of the flavor palette. Reposado has a little bit of age, and as a result, it's going to have some color to it if you go to certain places and find different variations of it. But in this case, this one is clear because they take the color out of it. Now, here's an example of Añejo tequila. I wish you could see the actual color. If you can, right here, you can see the color of it. It's dark, looks almost kind of like a brown liquor. This is Añejo. This has been aged at least a year. And in this case, this is Adictivo tequila, one of my favorite tequilas. It has a very sweet finish, sipping tequila, as they call it. And this is technically extra Añejo, which means that it has been aged for quite some time. So at least a year, but sometimes up to 2 years, sometimes up to 3 years or longer. This is an amazing tequila again. So you now know the difference between mezcal, which is the superset of all agave-derived spirits. Then you know that tequila is a subset of mezcal. Then you know that Blanco tequila is a young, unaged tequila. You know that Reposado is a middle-aged tequila. And then you know that Añejo or extra Añejo is the oldest aged tequila. That's something to help you guys out just in time for Cinco de Mayo, or for the next time you're out at the bar and they ask you, hey, what type of tequila do you want? I'm Jamison. Hit that subscription button on the way out and do yourself a favor and do me a favor. Pour yourself a drink. Y'all take care.